Hello, this is Berzinsky for Beardbrand. I just can't wait to get gray hair. Really? I get many comments on YouTube and on Instagram that talk about my gray hair. Actually, I introduced that question a couple of clips ago, asking people what they thought about me dyeing my hair, and I guess the overwhelming response to that was, please don't. Of course, freedom to do whatever you want, but please don't. But I get so many comments to the effect of, I'm just really looking forward to my hair going gray. I just can't wait. And this is generally coming from guys who are probably in their 20s, and a gray hair is probably 15 years off. So what is the fascination with younger people wanting gray hair? I don't know if this started with the women who might be watching, and just in general, trends to dyeing your hair gray. I think it might have started with female models probably about 5 years ago, and it's trickled down into just everyday society now. There's just an incredible amount of women who dye their hair, bleach it out, and then tone it gray. So I did some research, read a couple of articles, and for the most part, across the board, the women who responded said, I just want to look different. I want to be unique. I just want to switch it up. I just want to play with my hair. And I've probably done every other color under the rainbow, and I'm going to try gray. And none of them are doing it in particular to look more mature, or to look more dignified, or look more wise, things that are generally associated to having gray hair. They're just doing it to be different. And so why do guys do that? So I was just wondering, did it trickle over to men? Of course, in that group, there's some men who have bleached their hair and toned it to make it gray. But I think the overwhelming majority of guys don't play with their hair color to the point where they would bleach it, and especially bleaching their beards. I think you actually see men with gray hair, and you do think dignified, refined, there's a sense of wisdom, and it just looks good. Often it's contrasted with darker base color. So in my case, having a combination of black and silver hair can be very dramatic. So I'll give you that. It can look very dramatic. But there's a reality with getting gray hair. And so the process actually does not happen overnight. I had no gray hair until I was probably 45, and then sprouted, a few on my beard and a few on my head. And it didn't even bother me, didn't even think about it, because they blend in typically. And then a few more and a few more. And that's over the course of a year, you might have 2% gray hair. And so it does not happen overnight. I say that mine happened overnight, 5 years in the course of your life. So there's the reality of it isn't going to happen fast. And what I found out in my own case, it's just annoying to get those first few gray hairs. So for probably the first year or so, I actually colored my beard, and I colored my hair just to tone away those, what I thought were annoying amounts of gray hair. And I don't think there's anything wrong with doing that. I was going to talk about that in another clip, and I know that Jeff has talked about and actually demonstrated how to actually dye your beard. And so I think, you might be a candidate for doing that. And the reason to do that is once you dye your beard or dye your hair to get rid of those first annoying gray hairs, when you stop coloring it, when it comes in, you probably have twice as much gray hair. And so it can look more dramatic. And then I'm wondering, are there people out there who would actually go and bleach their hair and dye it out? I've actually considered that. Now that's much more permanent. When you're bleaching your hair, you're removing the color and putting a toner in it. It's definitely a process and definitely has some upkeep. And I thought about doing that at a time period where I might actually shave off my hair or cut my beard very short. And so I think that's the way guys can deal with that. Most women couldn't do that. But that's another path. If you want gray hair, you can go ahead and dye it and bleach it. I would go to a professional to do that. And so you can push it a little bit and bleach it and do that for a look now. And I think it's fashion. I think that look is going to cycle out like most things in fashion do. I don't think you're going to see a long-term trend to people having gray hair. One thing that actually women, and I think to a degree some of the men who bleach their hair, we actually see that it has made it more acceptable for older people who are naturally gray to actually sport their hair gray and not worry about coloring it. So that's one of the benefits. Society has woken up to the fact that there's a big part of the population who are either premature gray or are in their 40s or 50s or even older who have gray hair and for years have been coloring it. So I actually think that's a good thing for society that these young people have actually opened the doors for older people to have gray hair. The reality of having gray hair is that for the most part, by the time your hair starts getting really cool looking in color, there's some side effects of growing older, and that is your hair might start falling out, you start looking older, and so I think that a lot of the attraction to gray hair on people that you see is generally they might look younger, they might have a full head of hair, and so that's one thing to consider. So what I really want to leave you with is that we should strive to be content with where we are in life, and that goes to our beards and our hair, wishing for hair color that is naturally given to people who are generally older, whether it be in the beard or the hair. We spend so much time and energy thinking and wishing for things to happen. I think if we could be more content, it'll go a long way to fostering a sense of happiness in our own lives. Not to say that you can't be proactive and go ahead and bleach your hair or cover it up, but I think it's actually the time we spend thinking about it and not acting on it is where we get into trouble. So comment below. Let us know if you would be the person who might color their initial gray hairs, or if you would be the one to actually bleach and tone your hair to actually have it be gray as a 20 or 30-year-old. Let us know in the comments, and until next time, beard on.
Beardbrand is a premium men's grooming company with products not only for your beard, but also your hair and body. Do yourself a favor and head over to beardbrand.com and take care of yourself. Or you can stick around and watch a few more of our awesome videos.